say, don't they, never bring politics into personal relationships. It's along with religion and other things that you just can't discuss. But a recent YouGov poll found that almost 40% of Remainers would object if one of their nearest and dearest married someone who voted to leave the EU.
So in the current political climate and a country that has more singletons than ever before, would you swipe right for a Brexit romance? Kira Durkin has been finding out.
As the saying goes, opposites attract, but the struggle to find a suitable partner when you're single can be tough. But would you be willing to make it even harder and remain on the shelf if your views on politics were polar opposite? Singletons are spending 10 hours a week on dating apps. 41-year-old Dawn is one of them. She's not letting Brexit anywhere near her bio. And my 28-year-old colleague Liam thought he would test the waters to see what reaction he'd get from potential matches if he told them, unless they voted out, they're not coming in. So, can stating what way you voted sway which way you swipe? And can it leave you lingering even longer for love? Let's find out. Would you say yes to this lady?
I'd say yes.
Would you still want to meet her?
Everyone needs to learn something, don't they? So we can have that conversation later.
Yeah, he's cute.
Would you still want to meet him?
I would struggle because I don't understand how people chose Brexit.
You would want to meet her?
No problem.
Would you still want to meet her?
Not so much. Brain is as much important as beauty.
He voted to remain?
Oh, definitely not. I'm sorry. It means that our fundamental thinking is so different.
Would you still swipe right?
Absolutely not.
Even though he's an absolute hottie?
Not bothered.
Well, joining us now to discuss this is Brexiteer and Guido Fawkes reporter Tom Harwood, who would date a Remainer. Okay. And dating blogger Glenn Ochko, who says he would not date someone who voted to leave. Oh my goodness, I mean, with such a division in the country, aren't you cutting yourself off from a lot of options?
Well, there is division in the country, but there'd also be division in the household. I'm not looking for a short one-time kind of hookup. I'm looking for a proper relationship. And that's based on values and principles that this is something that is so fundamental to what I believe in. If someone believed totally differently to me, I don't want to set something up where we're going to have arguments for the next.
What are some of these values and principles that a Brexiteer has that a Remainer, doesn't have?
Well, for me, it's about closing off our nation, closing off our relationships, cooperation, travel, all these things which actually I believe should be open and free, certainly around Europe as much as possible. And Brexiteers, generally speaking, don't.
Well, doesn't that just betray sort of a problem in your argument? You just said generally speaking. You can't cast aspersions across 17.4 million people, more people than have ever voted for any cause or person or idea in the history of this country.
Well,
more than half the country that you're just cutting out of your dating pool.
Firstly, it's definitely not half the country. We're not getting into a Brexit thing, but it's half the people who voted. And secondly, in the age brackets and demographics that I'm looking at, it's much less than that, because over 60% of the people in the age bracket that I want to date actually did vote right.
But millions of people voted leave. And people voted leave for really grand values that I think the whole country can unite behind. And democracy, freedom, self-governance. These aren't parochial little values.
Tom, why do you feel that you could be in a relationship then with somebody who's got this they are quite opposite views? I know they're different views, but they're quite polarising. Do you think you can have an amicable, healthy relationship and have healthy discussions and learn to love each other and all?
Oh, totally. I can date someone who has different music tastes, who likes different sports teams, who likes different films. I think that it's so sad if we try and splice and dice our country into these sort of these groups of people that actually we should be learning from, and we should be coming together as a country. We should be learning from differences, and maybe we'd actually have a better understanding and not think that all these values are so opposed to us if we actually listened a bit and understood.
But is it also about the sort of relationship you're looking for as well? Because a lot of people got in touch and said, who doesn't love a good row over politics? That was Steve. And Nicola, I disagreed with my partner from the day we met, and now we're married. So maybe because you're passionate about politics, you like the fact that someone is going to row with you and talk about it. Whereas maybe some other people you might date might be a bit bored.
But it doesn't have to be a row, and not all conversations have to revolve around politics. You can go through life without discussing politics very much. Most people do. Most people aren't sort of political anoraks, and that can be quite healthy. But I think it is ridiculous to say that, for example, voting leave is a little parochial, inward-looking, isolationist thing, and perhaps if you'd be willing to date Brexiteers, you wouldn't think that it is.
Glenn, Glenn, are there any practical issues that you're thinking, oh, hang on, there's no way I could date a Brexiteer because we won't be able to do this, that, the other? I mean,
Well, there is a thing about people, generally speaking, hang around with people that think the way that they do. It's a bit of an echo chamber in many respects. I know that if I was dating a Brexiteer, they would probably have friends and family who were Brexiteers. I know I wouldn't be able to keep my mouth shut, so at dinner parties and everything.
Yeah, but if you
I know I
marry
would be
somebody,
having
quite often you
fights.
could marry somebody who has similar views, but you go to their family for Christmas dinner, and you know the elderly aunt has got quite severe traditional views.
1.6 million relationships are broken up because of Brexit. 20% of counsellors have clients who are arguing over Brexit relations. My own marriage broke down in part because of Brexit relations.
I mean, so would you have exceptions to your rule? For instance, if Margot Robbie or Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio, whoever you want to date, walks in, would you think they're just so gorgeous, I could do it?
I would struggle, simply because a relationship is built on more than just looks. A relationship is built on values and principles and personalities.
I mean, okay. All right. Okay. We're going to end it there, but you guys should hang out, I think.
As friends, great, but I don't think I'll be dating
This is
them.
a whole new game show. Come back next week. Let us know how you got on.
The vast majority of people getting in touch, though, are saying that they've got lots of different opinions to their other half, and it hasn't stopped them. We've got one here. Samantha, I met my husband online 7 years ago. We voted differently in every election, national and local, including Brexit. For us, it works. It's meant that our children get both sides of the debate. She